There's a new Easter egg with Rebirth Island's return in Season 3 for Warzone, granting whoever completes it the new redacted blueprint for the DG56, and today, we're breaking down how to do it. If you enjoyed the video, do me a huge favor and drop a like on the video, make sure you subscribe for more, and also, if you want to follow us over on TikTok, we're getting started and in the swing of things with short-form content as well. I'd love to see you out there, but anyways, let's jump into it. So, this Easter egg takes you on a bit of a, not quite grand tour of Rebirth Island, but you're going to a couple of different points of interest, all within one game. And you kind of got to race not only the clock if the zone pool isn't in your favor, but also you got to race your luck as well, because there's a whole game going on around you, people trying to take out the enemies and be the last team standing. But for this, there's sort of 3 puzzles that combine into one larger reward if you do them all. All can be done individually and grants you a bit of gear and loot with each completion, but you have to do all 3 to earn that rare blueprint. Now, credit to Geeky Pastimes and Credalag and their crews. They were the first 2 teams that I ended up seeing completing this, but here's how to do it. Number 1, first, you have to grab an ID badge from the bottom of the main staircase in the manufacturing building. That sort of 2 to 3 story larger staircase in the center of that building is where you're looking. It'll be found in a crate just beyond that blocked off or caged off storage room that is really dark and shadowy. All you have to do is shoot that box on the floor and the badge will pop out along with some other stuff that you can't actually interact with. But anyways, that's one of the first things you have to do here. You have to grab that ID badge. Then you have to sneak your way out of there and make your way over to the Coney control building that was added in between manufacturing and chemical engineering. Where those sort of power stations are, there's that new building that you can loot the bottom of, but there's an upstairs second story that requires a key card to enter. That's where that ID badge comes into play. Use that and then enter in and turn on the power. That's going to turn on the hydro pumps. That's the first sort of little puzzle you have to complete here of the 3, and in that, you'll usually be guaranteed a streak that comes along with it. I've seen UAVs mostly, but I have seen other stuff as well. Then the next puzzle, we're going to head over to the chemical engineering building, that long building right on the shore there. Your goal is to reset the water level in this puzzle. For this, you're looking for 3 different numbers on 3 different floors that have Cyrillic letters above that. 2 of those numbers will be on the 2nd and 3rd floor of the side closest to the prior manufacturing building, and then the other will be on the ground floor closest to the bioweapons building. You want to note what those 3 numbers and their corresponding Cyrillic letters are, so you can end up stabilizing the pressure in the control room of chemical engineering. The furthest you can go on the ground level in chemical engineering, you'll come to a sort of control room that sees you have a big red button that'll reset that water level, 3 consoles, and 3 larger tubes. Those 3 tubes, obviously you see, have those Cyrillic letters, and you have to make them match in terms of number what you saw around those signs elsewhere in the building. You do that by interacting with each of those consoles, and if you do mess up, it is fine. You can reset the level. You'll just have to restart that part of the puzzle over. The numbers don't change at all, so it's just simply having to interact with it to raise those numbers. Once you do, it will tell you that the pressure is stabilized, and it will spit out a little bit of loot. Usually, I think that's always been, from my experience, a durable gas mask for you and your squad mates. Now, the final piece to this overall puzzle comes in the industry building, that long building by bioweapons and also the helicopter pad. In there, that new 2nd story has a control room and a display case of multiple different items. The computer at that desk will showcase a series of percentages. You'll want to note those down in descending order, so your largest numbers are first down to your smallest numbers. Put those numbers in the keypad behind you at the display case, and if done properly, it will open up and grant you a few rewards. But okay, you've done all 3 of these individual puzzles. How do you get that overall DG56 redacted blueprint and the Easter egg reward? Because you see it in the display case right next to you along with an advanced UAV, but how do you get to it? Well, if you go over to the right side of that display case, you'll see another big red button where, if done properly, above that big red button, you'll see 3 green lights denoting that everything's done, and then you can hit it to lift the island lockdown, and that secondary display case with a DG56 and the advanced UAV will open up, to which you can end up picking it up, using that advanced UAV, and earning that DG56 redacted blueprint. And that's it. That's how you end up getting that redacted blueprint, completing that Easter egg. Now, individually, each of those 3 items can be done normally, and again, they're rewards with specific content. So if you don't want to do all this in one game where you can't per se, it will still give you some loot even if you do just 1 or 2 of them. The Coney Outpost with that key card offers up a free streak every time. The water level puzzle will grant you a, I've seen every time, durable gas mask, and the industry control room locker will grant you an armor box and your choice of vest, 1 per player if you're in quads. Now, I will say, if you are attempting to do this, this can be tough to do. If you go in like quads or something like that, something where you're going to see a lot more communication, a lot more players, and a lot more, perhaps a lot more team pushes, it is something something that can be tough. Now, I won't lie, the footage that you saw here of this, of me completing it, that was done first try in duos, but I genuinely don't think that I could have gotten a luckier start. Zone pooled where I needed it to be, so I wasn't fighting time or the zone. No one really landed with me in my squad, so I had zero pressure for the first 2 steps, and there were really 0 gunfight challenges the entirety of that run. In quads, I don't think I would have been able to do that. Solos, probably not either. More people will be spread out probably. And in trios, again, there's still probably enough of like, that's where your sweaty squads are going to be on launch day of a season that I don't know if I would have gotten it off any other way. So very lucky, and it could be something you have a tougher time to do, but that's how you end up doing it. Additionally, one thing to note is that these things and these values change every game. So like those percentages in the industry control room or the water level values, those will change every game, but once in game, they don't change. Like I mentioned, if you messed up inputting the code in the chemical engineering pressure stabilization puzzle, you can reset the values without it changing the numbers that you actually need to match. Once in game, you're fine, but it's not like you can memorize it from game to game and go and do it immediately. But after you're done with all 3 of those, the display case, again, tethered to that, will open up by hitting the red button. And when you complete the match, you'll end up getting that redacted blueprint for the DG56. This blueprint can then be used forever here for as long as you play Modern Warfare 3 or the content is supported. It'll come along with the Intless CAS 14 optic, Commando 4 grip, 40 round mag, and the Varanus steady grip. But what's interesting is that it doesn't appear to be a shared reward between you and your squad, unless bugged. I ended up getting it, but my squad mate did not. So that's something to keep in mind as well. It's not like a universal reward, so if you and your squad mate both care about it, you're probably gonna have to do it again. But what I find kind of funny out of this is, does it look familiar to you at all? Like, take a look at that blueprint. Tell me if you notice anything. Is it possible that we might have seen this as a blueprint for a different weapon of a different era? It might not be exact, but it sure looks like the Red Room Milano blueprint from back in Season 1 of Cold War with the Rebirth control Easter egg when Rebirth Island first came to Warzone. I'm not really bothered by that personally speaking. I know others will say it's lazy and not really like that at all because of that. And to some degree, I do agree with that. But again, I don't personally care too much, but it is seemingly kind of like a repeat blueprint here, which is strange. But anyways, that's the Easter egg. I'm certainly expecting more Easter eggs here, so we've probably got a busy weekend ahead of us here for hunting and putting up some more guides. If anything else is found and there's any way to earn camos or other rewards, we'll put it up here on the channel. But for now, that is where we're going to wrap it up. Before we do, make sure you check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage for what I firmly believe are the best blue light glasses on the market. I've worked with these guys for nearly 3 years now and cannot recommend them enough. They're the most lightweight, comfortable, and durable frames on the market as far as I've used, and I definitely think they've helped my daily productivity. Full transparency, they're a bit more of an investment, but I do think your vision is absolutely worth investing into, especially if you're like me, you look at a monitor, your phone, or you're gaming for a good chunk of the day. If you guys would like to learn more, at the very least, I'd recommend checking out their website where they can better break down the science and all the specifics of their product, way better than I could, but what I can personally say from having used their stuff for 3 years now, I'd highly recommend them. So if you'd like to learn more, check the link in the description below, and if you'd like to pick something up for yourself, use code Espresso to get 10% off your entire order. But for now, that's what we're gonna call it. Let me know your thoughts down below on this Easter egg. Do you like the reward? Do you like the Easter egg quest? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts. But if you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing getting all things Modern Warfare 3, Warzone, Season 3, and the continued coverage here for that, but also other FPS content on the channel. I'd love to have you, but for now, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.